I know you're tired. I know you're hurting.
Hi, welcome to Taco Bell. How are you?
It's cheat day. That's right. Project Reclamation is cheating, but not on you. That's right. It's another cheat day episode, y'all. So sit back and enjoy the show.
Do I
I'm
sound
psyched.
like I'm on old time radio?
Beep, 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 beep.
Steve, I will kill you.
I'm harmonizing like that show that I was watching on TV called Harmonizing.
No.
Eric Harmonizing.
No.
Baby boy, I got to be honest with you.
No.
Ethernet.
It's pronounced the internet.
Wireless, Ethernet, sound, cable, VGA.
All right, everybody, welcome to Volume 3 of
Volume
our
3?
cheat episodes.
How have we got there? How have the
Officially-
censors not put us down
I
yet?
don't understand. To be perfectly honest, I did not think we would make it to double digits, but
Wow.
here we are.
You
We are
sound
on. What is
you
this?
sound
episode?
like a boy growing up on the streets. I didn't know I was going to make it to
I
double
didn't know I was
digits,
gonna make
man.
it to 10.
I didn't know I was going to hit that 10-year-old mark, but man, I'm here now. It's my world now. Hey, yo, I got to be honest with you. This is a cheat episode. If you didn't know what our cheat episodes are about, that means we just kind of stray away from the path. And you might go, Steve, all of your episodes sound as though they've strayed away from the initial path and purpose of the Project Reclamation, but you're probably right. But this is especially, we're going to stray as far as we can away from this well-worn path. And to make sure that we did that, we just got rid of JB. We said, JB, hit the skids. Hit the skids for this one episode, man.
You know the ironic thing about JB not being here for this episode is he's the only one of the three of us that has not quit. I mean, we were never serious about quitting, but you and I have both quit during episodes, and he hasn't.
I'm about to quit right now. Okay, but because we have a special guest member, I probably will stay around for just a few more minutes.
See, look how special you are, guest.
Oh my God.
So
Hi.
JB is at work. There is a chance he may join us for this episode, but we are starting it without even knowing if he'll be on or not.
And through the magic of modern editing, we will edit him back into this episode somehow, some way.
It's possible. I'll be honest. Steve called me and he's like, dude, what if we just got a Jack Black soundboard and like just threw in some words and said that was JB?
Ki! Whoa,
For
JB,
any of you
is
guys
that
who
you?
don't know, JB has a lot of, not so much physical, but more like his
Mental?
personality. He has a lot of personality traits that remind us a lot of Jack Black.
Too many personality
In fact,
traits.
we thought that if we made a movie of the tripod, Jack Black would definitely play JB.
Definitely. Doesn't even matter
don't
at
really
what
know who
age
would
or
play us.
stage Jack Black is in.
I think because he's so good at losing and gaining weight, Kevin James, even though he's like way older than I am. And Steve could be, I don't know, pick your good-looking...
Michelle Kwan, obviously.
There you go, Michelle Kwan.
Wee, world-famous golfer. We don't know.
I was going to say Daniel Day
that-
Kim.
is that-
Kim.
Is that racist?
No,
Is that,
no, baby.
Okay,
I only
okay.
have a few to choose from, okay?
All right.
America's not ready for an Asian sex symbol male
According
actor.
to what I've learned, and I
Bruce
stay out of
Lee.
this because of my
He's dead.
heritage,
Rest in peace. We're just
Steve
gonna
is
wheel in a
allowed to
coffin.
say things about his own people.
That's true.
This is true.
Go
So
ahead.
you can
Steve, do I have permission
So-
to say things about your own people?
baby,
No, but-
Brett. Well, I don't know.
Well, I don't know if
Listening
we go
audience.
by-
But I've
If
been
we
to
go
Asia
by-
more times than you have.
That's true.
That sounds like a white person saying, "I've done
yeah,
this
that's
more than
that's
you
kind
have."
of like
then that gives me
reminds
more
me of,
liberty.
like, when you accuse someone of being racist, and their comeback is, "Well, I have some black friends."
Yeah.
You can have as many friends
So
as you want. Of
now that
all
he's
over the
talking, we
rainbow.
might as well introduce him. So we do have a guest host today. His name is Brett.
Brett. Beep, beep, beep,
Hello.
Brett.
Have heard about him. We have talked about him. He lives in my house. He is our director of graphic design here
Wow.
at Project Reclamation.
The director
Although I
of
think the
graphic
title he
design.
prefers is graphic design god.
Yes.
Wow.
Thank you. Thank you.
So that
is my pronoun.
I will
Yes.
let him plug his services.
Plug
He's
your
a great
services.
graphic designer. I will say that. Hey, it's better than plugging something else.
Oh,
But I'm
hey,
chill.
that's right. Wait, we just got this word from the FCC. We're
Guys,
Apple to shut us
been
down.
shut down.
Hey
Sorry.
guys, thank you
been
very much.
fun.
The cheat episode has been cheated out of the full 1 hour.
I always knew we'd go out on a cheat episode.
You know what? That's the
Well, it
only
was
way
great
go.
to be on. I'll see you.
All right, Brett. There's Brett, everybody. There's
Yeah.
Brett, manager and graphic designer god, Brett.
Yes.
Brett, what's going on with you today? How are you? What's
Well, you know,
what's-
I think most of the listeners. Sorry, Steve, I just
No,
cut you off.
cut
That was
me off.
Terribly rude.
cut me off.
Well,
You're a piece of shit.
We're finally starting to get constructive criticism from people who aren't our yes men. And one of the things, and I don't think it's necessarily a problem for us, but
No.
we talk over each other a lot, and I think we don't meet.
Really, I haven't noticed.
Shut up. I think
in these 5 minutes.
I think, but I think it's just because we're so excited about the stuff we talk about.
I
Like,
can't tell you how excited I am. And I was, one of our dear listeners has compared us to the Male View. The Male View that you can found on your local ABC channel from, I guess, 10 a.m. to
all
11
right.
a.m.
Just hearing that makes me want to slip my wrist.
So we are now going to take our turns. Space this out. Brett,
I just started the podcast and I want to quit.
wow. That is direct viewer feedback.
Yeah, that is direct.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited.
Okay.
I'm excited.
I have a question for you, Brett. How many episodes have you actually listened to all the way through?
Like
You can answer this honestly.
one-ish,
Yeah, fine. All right.
two-ish,
Well,
That's good.
possibly.
That's a good thing, guys, because I've said some things about Brett on some of the episodes. And I'm glad he.
That's what I figured, and I figured it would just make our living situation more awkward. So
No, I think you've come up a few times. I talked about your mental health once, but then I edited that out, so that didn't actually make it.
you
to the final
piece of
cut.
shit. That was between us.
That's why I edited it out. But
No,
told
I
you
really
that
don't.
was
I
secret.
really don't care.
No, I know, because later on when I told you I edited it out, you're like, we should have just left it on
You
there.
should have just left it in. I don't care.
One episode, you had just gone to China, and we were
Yes.
just mentioning that you've gone to a lot of Asian countries,
Yes.
and then there was something about you cooking rocks.
Yes. Yes.
that's right.
I was cooking rocks.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
I was Walter Whiting it.
Wow.
I was Breaking Bad.
Little Heisenberg. Is it Heisenberg? It's not Heidelberg.
No, it's Heisenberg.
No, it's Heisenberg.
It's
Heidelberg.
Heisenberg. It's Heisenberg.
Heidelberg is a very nice
So,
city.
And by cooking
in
rocks,
Germania.
I mean I went to a gem mine to mine gems with my girlfriend, and I was trying to clean rocks in vinegar because I heard that might work.
I got to be honest with you, Tim. He's just name dropped two big things right there, and he just tried to sweep those under the rugs.
Gem
One,
mine and girlfriend.
bingo, you got him. I mean, honestly, Brett, I didn't know you were going to use this platform to just show off. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm jealous already.
I go.
Stop it.
I dig rocks
Wow.
on
I think you
occasion,
should've stuck with
and by
cooking rocks.
occasion once.
Made you sound a lot more badass.
I know.
Yeah, I figured. But I didn't want, the DEA to bust down our
That's
door
true.
while we were recording.
That's
I'm like,
true.
we've been hearing you've been cooking rocks.
I got to be honest with you guys. They're right outside the door, anyways.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
No, we're not interesting enough.
We're not
No,
interested. Those are our
no.
only listeners right
Yeah.
now.
So Brett, tell the listeners a little bit about yourself beyond those.
How many
those three facts.
employees did the NSA have? That's how many listeners we have.
Too many to count.
Yeah, but they don't show up on my download list.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. What was that again?
So Brett's been a
Hi,
lifelong
Agent Brady. I know you're listening.
Brett has been a lifelong family friend of Tim since forever, and I have met Brett when he was. Our friendship goes back at least 20 years. At least 20 years. Because think about this.
I don't know.
I was still in high school when I first met you. And
Were you? I don't remember.
You probably met Brett shortly after
Probably.
you and I became friends.
Yeah, and we've been friends since junior high,
And
so
Brett
probably
was
about 25
at the
years.
time he was
Holy
like a
smokes.
9-year-old kid.
Wow.
I don't
think he's
remember
matured
anything
very
past.
much.
I don't remember anything past 15. So.
Wow. And
yeah.
in
You had
that,
a good head on your shoulders. You always followed us around. You knew who was worth hanging out with.
you knew where
No, I think
you
it's
were
just
the
because I
money
was too
were.
socially awkward and didn't know how to make friends.
And I was like the older brother you never wanted.
Exactly.
Good times.
Brett is, I don't know how you describe Brett's physique to our listening audience, but I'm just going to try. He's about 7 foot. He's about 340 bills. He's got a very long beard that probably goes about 5 feet of him.
ZZ Top.
Yeah, he wears high top sneakers, but light, bright color.
You're
high
forgetting
tops.
about the 2% fat.
Oh, the
That's-
2%
yeah.
body fat. He's
Yeah.
shredded diesel.
And on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, he wears the slash hat.
Wow, I thought you were gonna say he goes to dialysis. But no, he
I
wears
thought
the
you only need
slash
to do
hat.
dialysis once a week.
No.
it
You
every
need to go
day?
3 times a week.
Yeah,
Thank
it's
God
every
I-
almost
thank
every
God,
day.
dialysis.
thank God I'm out of that
It's from
forest.
it's from all the Mexican supplements I've been using
Wow.
to get this
Well, all
rock
right.
hard.
Shout out
So now-
to our sponsor, Mexican Supplements.
Shout out to Mexican supplement
know.
sponsors. So now we've officially. I love how many people we alienate on cheat episodes.
Yeah.
Last time it was the government, religion, Christianity, and this time we've already gotten to.
we've got the government.
the Asians, the government,
Don't worry, there's still time. It can
and
definitely.
now the Mexican supplement
could
companies.
you please tick the boxes, please? Thank you.
For checking the boxes down.
Yes.
So yeah, by trade, Brett is a graphic designer. Wow. He designs phenomenal logos. He's done a lot for me. And
Think of a
including
logo. Think of a logo right now, off the top of your head. Can't do it. Think of Brett's logo. Project Reclamation logo.
Exactly.
That's right.
Hey!
I can't.
So,
I mean, that's how
if you
great a
guys don't
designer
know
he
what the
is.
logo is, go check out the website.
Wow, at Project Reclamation.
X.
Project X Reclamation. I'm so sorry. Project X.
ProjectReclamation.com. You want to hear the real story?
No, I don't want to. Wait, there's a real story behind Project Reclamation.
Why we don't have Project Reclamation?
Why don't we have it? Just give us if you could
Because
give
Brian
Because,
decided
it's-
to steal it.
It's identified as there's these companies that just buy up any freaking titles
Yeah.
of a website that they think might be profitable later on down the road.
Schmoobies.com,
So they own them all,
just
but they don't
anything
do
like
anything
that.
with them.
Oh, yeah,
And
yeah.
then they sell them to you when you want them.
That's
so
their business.
I know. And it's
X-Hamster,
not a bad. I'm honestly
Pornhub.
probably just jealous I didn't come up with this idea. So Project Reclamation fell onto that list. Somebody owns it, and I got some when I tried to get it, I got some notifications, so I contacted them just to see what it was going to cost. $1,000.
Oh,
So maybe someday, but not today.
yeah.
we definitely do not have $1,000. You should see our operating costs as they are.
The three of us are sitting around on a kitchen table right now.
I don't even know
On
if
lawn
we're-
furniture, actually.
lawn furniture.
That's not. I'm not even lying about that. That's not even. I'm not trying to make you feel bad.
We are
But that's what we're
being
literally-
guided by candlelight because
Wow.
I didn't pay the electricity. No, I'm just kidding.
How are they recording?
How are they recording? I am cycling the bike right now and I'm getting tired, guys.
we got
Well, I'm
we got Paige the dog running on a big hamster wheel.
I've got 2 D-cell batteries, a Ouija board, and
Wow.
some tinfoil.
That's what I feel right up
And
on
if
my
you guys
side.
want to know what the dogs look like, I believe I posted links to their Facebook pages in the show notes.
Wow, even the dogs have links, their own websites.
Steve, I was unemployed for a while.
Yeah, I remember
So
when
I
I got
made
a
the
friend
dogs.
request. I'm like, why did you make Facebook for the dogs?
Dude, I made a Facebook for the dogs because I talk about the dogs, and I figured some people are dog people, so they might be curious. What do Tim's dogs look like? And the best way I figured out how to do that was I'll give them Facebook pages.
We do live in a
Great.
time.
Now the Russians have their information.
Again,
That's true.
I was
That's right now.
unemployed.
Again.
I had some time on my hands.
Well,
Yeah, it happens.
it does happen.
So we've said a lot of stuff. Why
have.
don't you tell the listeners about yourself, Brett?
Well, my day job, went to San Diego State.
Word up, Aztecs.
Yeah, Aztecs. Woo! Never went to a game. Now Steven hates
Sorry,
me.
Aztecs.
Sorry. I'm just not a sports guy.
No.
Um,
At 7 foot, I don't know why you're not. I mean, honestly. if you only
yeah,
got
I don't
2%
know.
body
People said I
fat-
You
had.
could have been a basketball player. You could have been a pitcher.
Yeah.
Yeah, could have been a
Tight
lot
end.
of things.
Man, you could have been
Oh
anything
yeah,
you wanted to be.
tightest end of the league.
Wow.
So tight.
Wow.
this is the wrong.
What are we
Project
talking about?
Reclamation.
Oh,
Certainly
so,
not what you're talking about.
Oh my gosh. Where did we go?
I guess it's a cheat episode.
Yeah, exactly.
Throw in
My day job, I work as a technical illustrator for a company called.
I don't even need to name them. I don't even.
Go ahead and
Basically-
bleep that out then.
Brett is a merchant of death.
Yeah,
mercenary.
possibly. Yeah,
He's a
depending.
mercenary graphic designer.
Steve and I are involved in big pharma, big medical. Brett's
Yeah.
a merchant of death. He works for government contractors.
Mm-hmm.
And JB works for the big entertainment industry. So we represent all that is bad in the world.
So I do technical illustration. So when you go to IKEA, name drop IKEA if you want to sponsor us.
Future sponsor.
Future sponsor.
Future sponsor.
Swedes.
IKEA.
Are they
Everyone
Swedish?
loves. Yeah, Swedish. The meatballs. They sell the meatballs.
Love your meatballs.
Yeah. When you get a table or something that requires some sort of form of assembly and it says insert slot B into shaft A, I do that, but instead of furniture, it's for Predator drones.
So if I buy a Reaper drone, I have to build the thing?
No, and you have to assemble parts of it.
Okay, so that's
I would assume.
But also, I might need to fix it or something. Modify it?
Yeah, we do offer our services to fix things, but there are
Wow.
certain things in the
Full service
field.
company.
There are certain things in the field that you can fix yourself. So for certain deals that hey, we need to change the oil. I'm like, well, you don't need to send it across the world for that. Here's how you do it. So we have technical manuals that go through all that and shipping, how to actually put things
How on
together.
earth do you... Okay, first of all, there's a few different ones. But what, the Reaper's the biggest one?
Yeah, the Reaper is
How
the
big is a
flagship.
Reaper drone?
with a name like that. I don't know anything about drones. I'm a drone novice.
Dude, I have to say, when it comes to the drones and the names of missiles,
Okay, they're
they
similar.
do it right, man. Like Hellfire missile, that's badass.
I would
I'm
not want to
frightened.
buy a drone called Hellfire.
No, but a drone called a Reaper, kind of badass.
A Reaper, I would imagine, and Brett, please prove me wrong. I'm like a bunch of listeners. I'm just listening to this for the very first time. I think it's at least 25 feet wide. It takes a gallon of gas, and it can pretty much record anything from at least a mile up. Am I close?
Something along those lines.
All right.
It has.
Isn't it like more like half the size of a 737?
Yeah.
No.
With a name like Reaper.
No, see, you're thinking of, God, who's the company that makes those?
Tesla.
Sure, why not?
No, honestly, the only ones I know or have ever seen are the ones that you guys make.
Well, the ones that we make,
I've never seen them next to something to know exactly.
Yeah,
how big they are.
scale wise,
Bigger than a school bus.
Wow.
No, not bigger than a school bus. They're probably roughly about the size, like a little bit bigger than like a Cessna or like a 2 or 4 seater passenger plane.
Wait,
Okay.
your
Something
drone
like that?
is
Yeah.
that big? I was just kind of kidding. I actually did not know that.
Yeah,
No, they're huge, dude.
they're big.
Who makes?
Well, they have to
is
have
this for, This
missiles.
is for the government, though.
Yeah, and other people who want to pay us
Well,
money.
they sell them to. They're a.
Well, we don't just do government. Well, we do government stuff. So, like NASA uses our drones for atmospheric
Do you
tests.
have to
and,
be a government agency of some sort to buy a drone?
You
A
should have
drone that
cash.
could possibly.
I don't know. I could check.
So, like, I mean, if I had the money, could I like call you guys up and place an order?
Maybe.
I mean, you wouldn't sell me.
Doubtful.
You wouldn't send me a weaponized one. I'm guessing.
No. So we sell to a bunch of different countries. Obviously, our allies. So like France, Italy, UK.
So you'll sell them weaponized ones.
I believe so. I'm not entirely sure. Don't quote me on this.
But then we have like the ultimate kill switch. So if they were turned on us, we could just blow up all their drones.
I don't know if this is the
no,
set
I'm
up for
pretty
Iron
sure.
Man 3, I think.
I'm pretty sure that's not. Funny thing is though, they have same models as we do, like different. So it's basically like just like with cars. Here's the base model. Okay, we need to do X, Y, and Z for this. So
Yeah, your
sub
different
models.
trim packages.
The
Exactly.
Civic. The Civic XL.
I've been telling them for years. I feel like we're missing out on custom paint jobs
Wow.
and decals.
Dude, because think about all the planes for like you see the pictures in like World War II, and some of those planes had like
Yeah.
the shark teeth on the
Yeah.
front and like
The
that was
Enola
cool.
Gay.
I'm like, it's like the undercoat. He's like, you always got to get the undercoat. It's like, don't you want these cool flames and the sweet thing? But there's something about like, ooh, it's got to be stealthy and no one should see it. I'm like, whatever.
Well, doesn't the paint have some sort of contribution to the stealth?
Yeah,
aspect of it?
So the reason you see like other fighter planes, like just take like an F-16 or whatever, it's like that gray, bluish
But they
matte
can still
off whatever.
they still put numbers and shit on it.
Yeah, but it's so fucking high up, it doesn't matter. Like those are probably for them. I don't think they actually use regular flight numbers that civilians would
Have you ever
use.
seen the controls that
Yeah.
it takes to fly one of these?
Yeah.
What is it like?
It's basically like a big shipping container
What?
with a bunch of seats and electronics
So how many
and
people,
servers and
can
stuff.
one person fly one drone or no?
Yeah, one person can do it. Yeah, but it's the same operation.
But I mean, it's basically like, is it kind of like a cockpit of an actual plane?
Sort of. It basically, like you're actually inside of like this, and I'm not saying anything that can't be found on the internet, so please don't fire me. Basically, it's the bunch of seats, and it almost looks like, you see like classic FBI guys in the back of a truck in the van. They're listening,
Yeah.
and they got the audio equipment and stuff,
They're
and
right
like
outside
towers.
of Tim's door right now.
Exactly. Yeah,
absolutely.
exactly. It's like that.
Oh, wow.
So there's a bunch of stuff in there. Seats, people who are using servers, other things, because there's all types of data links so to actually remotely control it and link it up to everything.
I'm gonna ask you the obvious question that every single one of our listeners is.
No, I
obviously
haven't flown
wondering.
one.
No. How did you get this job, man? How did you get this job? Like, was it on Craigslist?
Magic.
Were you like, hey man, there's this sweet listing. It's asking for a 7-foot tall white male to show up at this one random park in San Diego, and then they nabbed you in for an interview, and they totally just, I don't know, Jason Bourne'd you, and they trained you from the very beginning.
Did you
Is
just
that what
find it on
happened?
like a job board?
Yeah. How did you get this job?
To be
man?
honest, I don't even remember applying for it.
Wow.
I-
They brainwashed
Well,
you.
wasn't it? What did I remember when you were looking for a job at
Yeah.
this time? Didn't you apply for it like months before they even called you?
It sounded vaguely familiar.
Dude, I-
After school, I basically just scoured the internet. I took 1 month off to do absolutely nothing, and it was magical. But then after that, after graduation, I had to like put my nose to the grindstone so Tim wouldn't, throw me out in the streets.
Wow.
I basically just plastered my resume all over the internet trying to find something, and I had a few hits there, a few hits there. Everyone knows how you're trying to find a job, and it's like, oh, we'll call you or this or that, and then they never call. But I randomly, at my kind of dead-end job at T-Shirt Mart, which was still cool, but it was,
Steve and I loved your job at T-Shirt Mart.
I know, you
Brett
guys
used to
would get
work at this
T-shirts.
place where he could design custom T-shirts and hats and pretty much anything you could put a decal or a logo or embroidery on.
Yeah.
So Steve and I would get all kinds of stuff made. If you've ever, I think I've worn it in some of my YouTube videos. I have that sweet Punisher hat. Yeah, Brett made that for me.
I did. What I did was actually one day at work, I got this phone call from a number I didn't recognize, and I said, I'm not going to fucking answer this. So I went.
Good call.
Exactly. Never. It was like,
Could be your baby's
I don't,
mama
I don't know you.
asking you to finally deliver some checks.
I'm like, I've been fooled before. The telemarketers now use like the area code from my hometown to send me things.
So smart.
I know.
Yeah, and that's
they're
like a
learning.
step up from when they just
Yeah.
use the area code of where you live now.
Or just
Game
a
recognized
restricted
game.
number. Exactly.
well, that one. Yeah, I mean that one's never going anywhere.
So I
I'm not
checked my
answering this shit.
voicemail on my lunch break, and it was
It's the government saying,
no,
"Come collect."
government contractor. They're saying like, oh, hey, we saw your resume and we'd love you to come in for an interview. I'm like, who? I don't remember. I might remember kind of vaguely 2 months ago, but I'm not entirely sure.
All right. So how long have you been at this job for?
A little over 2 years now. So it's 2 years back in January.
2 years. Did you ever think that this was the job of your future? That this is your dream job. Go on.
I wouldn't say it's my dream job.
But those checks clear every 2 weeks, though, right?
Exactly.
That's your dream job,
Yeah,
everybody. Welcome
exactly.
to your dream job.
And you must have like 12 weeks a year of vacation.
Wow.
No, so
you can take the unpaid vacation.
Yeah, so they offer what they call LWAP, which is leave without pay. So if you want to save your vacation for something else or this or that. So the company is really awesome just because I have never been with a company that treated me like a human being before. So actually, it was...
Shout out to T-Shirt Mart. T-Shirt Mart, always a future sponsor of human rights.
If you guys want to come on an episode and describe the bottom of that bus to us, we'd love to hear it.
We're going to interview T-Shirt Mart next week, and then we're going to get their perspective. And this is how we're going to create our new segment called Battle Royale.
Exactly.
Counterpoint.
Point
with
counterpoint.
Project Reclamation.
Exactly. So the first holiday I had was President's Day for, I don't know. It's just how it happened, guys. I'd only been working there for probably about a little less than a month. So we accrue our PTO, each week you get X amount of hours, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Pretty standard. And I went to my boss at the time and I asked him, like, oh, hey, I know we're not coming into work Monday, but I don't have enough for the hours, but I'd still like to get paid for some of it. And it was like,
get that money.
He's like, oh, sure. Yeah. What day did you want to do? I was like, oh, for Monday, for President's Day. He's just like, for Monday. He's like, that's a holiday. I'm like, yeah. He's like, that's a paid holiday. I'm like, oh, and I got a little verklempt. I'm like, I'm sorry. I've just never had somebody
until
pay.
this point in
I've
time.
never had anybody not pay me to work before. This is great. Is this what it feels like to be an adult and to make it and feel respected? This is great.
Up until this time, Brett didn't know what a paid holiday was.
No, I didn't.
He was just on permanent holiday.
Yeah.
Just vacationing his life.
I was lucky to get
Away.
a Starbucks card for Christmas.
Well,
That
play your
was-
cards right,
Yeah.
and in another few months, you might be getting.
You know,
another
when I
Starbucks
was
card.
first unemployed in this last little stint that I had, I went through and I cleaned my office and I found all these gift cards that I had just put in this like drawer. I had like $150 of Starbucks cards.
Look at you.
So I went to Starbucks like every day. For
Look at
2
you,
months.
high roller.
Yeah, 'cause
People
spent
love
gift
you,
cards.
Tim.
I don't need to use these cards.
Brett, I'm
No,
not gonna
no,
lie
it's
to you.
not even
Tim just
that.
name
It's-
dropped a bunch of things right there. He name dropped that people love him, and then he also is a Starbucks baller.
No, literally,
Wow,
I'm
thank
talking
you.
like $10 gift, like years of. It's not even that I was too good to use them, or not that I even didn't need them, because I certainly did. I'm a financial retard. More so that I'm just so organized and I'm so retarded that I just put them down somewhere where I thought I would remember. I didn't, but they came in real handy. I found them just when I needed them.
Yeah.
It all worked out. Life works out sometimes.
Life
like that.
does amazingly work out.
Yeah, it does.
If you just kind of laid the cards just play the cards, man. Play the cards you dealt. So let me ask you something, Brett. When you were kind of going through that, you said you took a month off and you were just kind of laying low, laying under the radar, maybe just traveling. I don't know, maybe just sleeping in late.
Oh, so late.
And then when you were at T-Shirt Mart, were you happy? It doesn't sound. You said maybe that you weren't so happy. They weren't even treating you like a human being.
Yes and no.
Okay.
That's some good points. I loved what I did. I just didn't like where I worked.
Hey,
It was kind of a...
How many of you guys out there find yourself in that same position? Okay?
Yeah.
My gosh.
Well, I mean, I would say yours was like the average. I just
Yeah.
liked my job. They were never mean to you. I mean,
No, there are a few...
it wasn't like a slave driving situation.
No,
they could have paid
no.
you more. They could have done a little bit more. Honestly, they probably could have utilized your creativity and your skill set and gotten something out of it.
Yeah. The other thing with that too is like it wasn't so much that they treated me terribly. It was pretty neutral, like good times, bad times. It was a mom and pop shop. There was a lot of toxic work environment thing with just like people snapping at each other, people saying, oh, this person doesn't do this or this doesn't do this. Why don't we do that? Blah, 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 blah. And I'm just like, I don't want to deal with it. But also too pay wise, as far as like being able to survive, it was not going to work out.
No.
So
No, but I mean, it still gave you the ability to do some cool things.
Yeah, no, it was great because, like, it was a great college job, is what I say. It was a good college job to be able to, like, okay, I can work X amount of hours. I'm doing something that's still in my field. I'm getting a little practice for here, and makes you faster at doing stuff on the computer just because it's all about turnaround.
Well, I think you probably you were always interested in doing logos and stuff, but I think it maybe kind of gave you kind of a deep dive into
Apparel, yeah.
Apparel and doing the kind of shirt designs and stuff. And
yeah,
I think on some level it maybe helped motivate you to kind of start doing some freelance stuff, which you still do, and that's cool. And
yeah, I try and still do freelance stuff on the side just to do some stuff that's a little more artsy, things that are like more, motivating.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I didn't really know I had the like to actually make t-shirts till I got that job. So that was nice.
So speaking of motivation, we do have a couple listener questions. This one is coming from Eileen in Santa Barbara, California.
Wow, that's our hometown, man.
It is our hometown.
It's like
crap.
People know we're there.
All right, well, I mean, let's just be local legends. What we got?
So the question is, and I think this was mostly geared towards Yumi and JB, Steve, but we'll kick it to Brett as well.
Hey, man, this is a cheat episode. We're going to cheat our listeners out of JB's response right now.
I just pretend to be JB.
I think it's... I think it's apparent that, we kind of lean on each other to work through some of our stuff or maybe to make ourselves better.
True.
And so the question was, how do we utilize or lean on each other to work through things, be it motivation or maybe some rough waters, to kind of minimize not the damage, but the problem that we may have, or just to keep ourselves going.
Question right now?
I'm trying to remember it
because I didn't
have
as many breaks as you're putting in it right now.
I didn't write it down, Steven, so I'm trying to remember it, and I'm trying not to misquote it.
Here it is. Eileen is going to be terribly disappointed. She's going to hear this and be like, "That's not the question I asked." And oh man,
I know.
Yeah.
I asked you.
What's your favorite pizza
Steve,
topping? I bet you anything.
If I wasn't disappointing people, then
what kind of podcast are we? How honest would we be?
That's true.
So let's answer.
So answer the question, Steve.
All right. So let's just try and tackle this, okay? How have we leaned or relied upon each other? Honest to gosh, ever since we started doing this podcast, all of us have had some successes. Obviously, all of us have had some. Well, I don't know. I don't think any of us have had failures, but we've all had certainly learning lessons, right? All right. You win. You learn. You win. A win is a win. A loss is a learn. And so we've honestly been kind of just learning a lot.
I would disagree, Steve.
All right, talk to me.
I mean, granted, some of this happened right before the podcast.
Wait, so you're telling me you haven't relied on some of the beautiful words that have been coming out of this beautiful
What I'm saying,
voice.
You said that none of us have experienced any failure.
Oh, no, we definitely.
And I think we definitely have. I mean, it was kind of almost the catalyst to this, but JB and I were both kind of mostly, for the most part, unemployed.
I would say you guys were very much unemployed.
JB was driving for Lyft, and I did like some consultant work here and there.
Well, I think
you had a personal matter that didn't go the way you wanted to go, but. Yeah, like you said, we've definitely leaned on each other. And it's funny because I think we've been friends for the way, from where I'm sitting, we've been friends for 20 years. And so we were always there. And it's not like we ever lost contact or had a falling out. But yeah, since we started this podcast, we talk to each other all the time. So now if I have a bad day or I'm working through something, or even sometimes, when JB and I were both kind of looking for new jobs, I would just call JB and there was times when one of us was negative or whatever. And then we just had to hope that we weren't both negative, we weren't both like Debbie Downers on the same day. Cause one of us was always there to kind of pick the other one up. But now, and this is kind of going to answer the second question.
Well, there were so many questions.
The second question asked was in general, but more so in times when you are not motivated.
Go on.
Be it for a big thing or maybe just to get out of bed or just you're having a shitty day. What do you do to kind of pick yourself up and motivate yourself? And I would say the reason I'm putting these two questions together is because my answer, which I've only really learned recently, is pick those people in your life who are actually going to help rather than just, there's a lot of people in your life who are just going to join your pity party and neither of you are going to feel any better afterwards. But, I've noticed I do it with Brett, but JB and Steve as well. If I'm having a bad day or I'm just kind of in a bad place or I'm just being stupid and douchey, I can call one of them and JB will be like, dude, snap out of it. Or dude, you're going to be fine. You gotta go to the gym. You got to do this. You got to do that. And they're there to, kind of snap me out of it. Cymbal crash. Boom.
It's true. It's true.
And I don't know. It's like I said, it's funny that for 19 and a half years, we had this tool that we never used. And now we have. And even you were telling me earlier, Steve, that, you had a little bit of a situation that might cause you to circle the drain, but your circling of the drain lasted exponentially less time than your normal ones do.
This is too cryptic for some of our listeners.
It's your story to tell, not mine. Dude.
No, well, here's what it is, and I'm going to be very honest with you. For those of you who are listening, we all started this podcast because we wanted to make a change in all of our lives. We felt like we got to that point where things were a little stagnant. And, well, hell, I got to be honest, this podcast has really done a wonder because it's put us on a platform. It's put us all on the same platform. So despite whatever kind of differences we were having, and even though we were having a terrible time or we were going through some stuff and everything was our own personal kind of journey or our own personal kind of pain, the podcast put us on an even playing field where we could just kind of cheer each other on. So I remember even calling you, Tim, and I remember calling JB and even Brett. I remember just talking to you sometimes too. And I'd just be like, hey, man, this is what's going on. But what's going on with you? Sometimes to get love, you got to give love. And sometimes to, get support, you got to show support. And I remember just calling you guys every day, man, how's that weight loss coming? How's the exercise coming? Hey, JB, how's that job search coming? How's the family coming along, Brett, I'd just be like, man, go ahead. I can see you're sleeping. Go get that rest, And so that's just how it is, man. And that was kind of my reliance is that I felt that, you guys were depending on me, to kind of pick you up, and kind of lift you up at times. And like that one quote is, right? A rising tide lifts all boats. I mean, it's true. Like if you're all down in the dumps, that's fine. That's fine. But when that tide comes in, as long as you guys are on that even playing field, it'll lift up everybody. And that's exactly what happened. And that's exactly how we kind of powered through this most recent situation. And I guarantee you, it's going to be how we're going to power through the next one and the next one after that and the next one even after that.
Well, and I think I used to be, and I've said this too many times, I was never the most positive person. And I think negativity...
You cannot say that enough.
I think negativity is very much... It drags you down. It's a disease and it spreads. It's very, very contagious because one person, we all have bad days. And granted, we're watching the news and there's all this stuff. So I think there's a lot of people that are negative. So it's really easy to just kind of join that negative cluster. But positivity is also contagious. So that's why I was saying, when JB and I were both in a situation where, we weren't having good days every day. There was always it was always kind of one of us was having a bad day and the other one was, there to kind of pick them up with positivity or something like that. And I think that's important. So my answer to the motivation question would be find some people in your life who are positive influences and who will bring you up rather than bring you down or join your pity party. Put those people on speed dial. Then another listener, Shannon from Sarah Mesa, California.
Sarah Mesa?
Yeah. She said, what about if you don't have anybody like that or don't have anybody at all? So Brett, why don't you take that one?
Well, what you guys are talking about, feeling better and having this podcast actually be like a form of contact, actually just sitting down and talking to somebody about it is what really helps. So whether that be a friend, a family member, or a stranger or a therapist or something like that. Like for me, I know, especially for me, like, cause I've suffered from clinical depression since I was like 12 or whatever. I've always felt better after talking to somebody about it. And it was always like in the beginning of being afraid to do it. Cause I was too worried about what they would think of me. So I'd keep it all inside. But in reality, nobody's going to judge you for having these problems. Like if they're your friends or anything like that, they want to help you. So, and if there are people who actually do judge you for it, then you don't need to be their friends because they're pieces of shit. But luckily in my life, I've had plenty of loving people to be able to talk to and stuff. But also, I've talked to therapists and other things like that, but it's the more used like them as a tool to help you get over your situation as far as motivating yourself and getting your shit together and feeling better and realizing what you need in your life, what you need to get out of your life, and giving you the tools how to actually get there.
Now, here's kind of a huge opening. I'm not going to lie to you, Brett, because we haven't even talked about this yet on the project. But I, too, have also been, for a while, I was suffering from depression for a very, very long time. I've talked to many therapists. This is like a huge opening up thing. Wow, I'm going to the.
Have you ever been medicated?
I have been medicated before.
Ooh, what'd you have?
I don't even want to talk about that stuff. And I'm not saying that's not important. I'm not embarrassed about it. I'm actually very, very proud to talk about this stuff. But yeah, just kind of even disclosing this, you and I share that little portion of it together, and I will tell you that
Paige.
and Paige the dog.
She more has ADD. I
She
think.
had a little more
Anxiety. Yeah.
I still, for the life of me, can't tell. I don't know the difference.
Well, then
Here's my thing. I know the difference, but when it comes to the medications, I'm a little confused. Like, you are depressed. She is anxious. You guys were on the same medication. Or does it just work different dogs? I don't know how this works.
I don't know either. That was funny, actually. I remember you took a couple of my pills because you ran out.
I'm pretty sure you took some of her pills too. I think there was even back and forth on that.
There
one.
might have been, actually.
Literally, they were on the exact same medication. Not even the same medication, but literally, I think they were different doses.
There were different different pill doses, so it doesn't matter.
Pill.
You stack.
Probably
same
came
pill.
from the same factory.
No, yeah, it's the generic brand of Prozac, which is fluoxetine, I believe.
Fluoxetine, that's fun to say.
Something like
Wow.
fluoxetine, something like that.
potatoes,
I'm just going to go ahead and say this right now. There is no shame in talking to someone. There's no shame in talking to a psychiatrist, a psychologist. And for those of you who have jobs and medical insurance, a lot of you probably have access to like a phone thing where you can call a number and talk to people.
Oh, yeah.
And they're all certified. I don't know I don't think they can prescribe medication, but there's people who are like literally you have it as a benefit in your health insurance a lot of the time to call people up and just talk to them about anything. And I mean, you may not, but you may, and you may not even know about it. That's just my little piece.
Yeah.
It's like you said,
No, you shouldn't. It's nothing to be ashamed about. You want to you want to help yourself. You want to become a better person, a better version of you. So you want to use all the tools available to you. Now, there's obvious, just like anything else, there like cost comes into effect in a lot of things, but there's plenty of outlets out there, like, state funded things as far as like low cost therapy and things like that. Or like I said before, if you have insurance through your job, they most definitely have some form of therapy that you can go through, or if the insurance or provider that you're going through, like for me, I have Kaiser doesn't have like an actual therapist unit type deal. They mostly medical things. So what they do is they outsource to other clinics. So like I actually go through a thing called PsyCare when I talk to my guy. So there's always going to be like, if the one insurance or anything else can't help you out, they're going to refer you to someone else who can.
We are totally going to do a mental health episode in the near future.
This is just a taste.
We will certainly have Brett on that episode.
We have to have Brett, but we also want to make this warning. We are not we are not mental health care professionals in the slightest. We are not here to. Yeah, we are not here to offer you. We are not here to offer you any mental health direction, but we are just here to share our mental health stories and also let you know that if you do have a medical emergency, please always dial your emergency medical providers. That is what they are certainly there for. If you do have some, any undiagnosed depression or what you believe is undiagnosed depression as well. So,
well, there's nothing wrong.
Good save, Steve.
There's nothing wrong with any of that. I mean, I think that's what we can say is use all your tools. And I mean, I'm speaking from experience. I still don't know all of the parts of my benefits from my job. I have no idea what half of it is, and I never did. But, look into that, because if that's something that you think would help you, it's not even that you need it. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. It doesn't matter. But if it would help you, then do it.
Yeah. And if
we're being really serious for a cheat episode.
Yeah.
Well,
also keep it like, and if it doesn't work for you, try something different. It doesn't matter. It doesn't mean it's the end of the world. It just means that whatever you tried wasn't going to work for you. So try something different and figure out another way to fix things.
I have a question for you, Brett.
What's up?
So a little bit of background. Brett, not nearly to the extent of myself, and hopefully he doesn't mind me saying this. Brett's dealt with a little bit of a weight problem. He's hardcore keto, and he's lost like 40 pounds.
Is that a fat joke, you son of a bitch? No. How dare you?
Kettle.
Dare you? So I started back last July doing keto, and last I checked, I think I'm down about 37 pounds, 36, 37.
Yeah.
And that's from little to no working out, just from changing my diet, just because my big thing is just like, I need to start working out, but I'm kind of lazy like that. So that's one thing I need to work on. So if you guys have any suggestions out there, just like some fun workouts, maybe, I don't know.
Brett and I are going to go to a jiu-jitsu class.
Yeah, we're going to try that out. Hopefully I don't die. But yeah, no, it was for me, like cause I have, I've always struggled with my weight growing up. So like through high school.
Sorry to cut you off.
You son of a bitch.
That wasn't my question. My question was this: we'll have a keto episode for sure.
Oh, fine.
And actually, another thing I'd be interested in, and you probably don't have the answer some people are looking for, but is like
What?
travel dieting.
Oh.
So we won't really go into that.
Yeah.
But I know your philosophy is kind of like mine. Like, be really good before your vacation, and then just don't worry about it on vacation. Just do whatever you need to do.
I'm on
That's-
vacation.
Exactly. That's why.
Poutine,
but
please.
That's
the day you get back from vacation, you're back on your diet.
Goodbye,
Yeah.
poutine.
No, but my question to you was this: does diet and exercise affect your depression?
Ooh.
Yeah, it does actually. I've noticed. So
What foods get you more down?
Sugar.
Yeah, carbs and sugar are a big one. Also, like mood wise, but then also just from how I feel physically. I actually had kind of an epiphany moment where I had been, let's see, I think I'd been on the diet for about a month and a half, 2 months. And I told myself, I'm like, oh, I've been good. I did good. I'm gonna go get a little splurge. Nothing crazy. I used to go to this place a lot called the Stats, which is a coffee shop here in San Diego. They got about 3 of them. Amazing coffee shop. Shout out to the Stats.
Wow.
Send me free coffee. So I would get this thing called a Thor's Hammer, and I'll be honest, the reason I ordered it the first time is because it was called Thor's Hammer, but it's actually very delicious. So what it is it's
Wait, before you explain what the Thor's hammer is, let's have Tim and I guess what's in there. I'm gonna guess it's
I've had one before, so. Oh, wait, I still don't know.
I want to guess it's 4 shots of espresso. Then they put in like a rusty
It's
nail
really light.
in there.
I don't even think is there.
No, there's
not a lot
espresso in it.
Oh,
Yeah.
is there? But
Yeah.
how many? Like maybe 1 or 2.
I think there's 2. So it's
2 or 3 rusty nails is what you're saying. They
yes,
just put that in
exactly.
there so you get that iron effect of the hammer.
Exactly.
And then there's also just like a carpenter's thumb, like because he hit it, and then they just have like like a little free floating finger somewhere in there.
Yeah, of
Is
course.
that the Thor's hammer?
Kinda.
Do they
okay.
only serve Thor's Hammer on Thursday?
Yeah. Is it Thursday
no,
only?
No.
Is it
It's
Thirsty
every
Thursday?
day. It's every day.
Wow.
No, they really are missing out on a marketing thing where they should have like happy hour Thursdays for Thor's hammers. That would be great.
Fun fact: Thursday is derived from Thor's Day,
Yeah.
Nordic stuff, and Wednesday is derived from Woden's Day, which is Odin's Day. So, if you've ever seen a Thor movie or you know anything about Nordic mythology,
Yeah.
I'm Chinese.
It was
so
part to get
I know
prays to
nothing about
dragons.
this.
trying to get
Yeah.
the Nords to convert to Christianity easier. You know.
By switching their days, by giving them
Well,
2
no, just
days.
naming them that. Same with like
Why
same
do
with
we have Christmas trees? Why do
Christmas
we have
trees?
Easter
Yeah,
bunnies?
exactly.
Why do we have Easter eggs?
Oh, the Nordic people are taking over.
Well, no, it's the Christians.
No, it's the Christians.
Ah,
We
They
made
just
it.
they take all the other religions and they just sort of just bring all of their crap into their own holidays
To make it easier, it's like, it was just like what was it? Because it's like, I guess historically, Jesus, if he did exist, I don't know. April.
This cheat episode is.
The question of whether he exists.
All right.
The question is, was he?
So he was born, obviously, from.
We're not gonna get into that.
from
This
what-
cheat episode is taking a very,
from what
very
we determined
deep and
is
dark
that
turn.
Born in April. So why do we celebrate his birthday in December
Saturnalia?
in winter? Yes, because it was I believe it was a Norse holiday. So basically, everybody
Nordic,
sort
or was it more Jewish?
Well, also,
not Jewish.
it was- no, it was-
Druid. Wasn't it like Druid, like pagan?
It was pagan. It was basically to celebrate the winter solstice.
Yeah, that's
is what the
Druids, dude. I don't even know what a Druid is. I feel like they wear robes and they pray to trees or something.
maybe I don't know something. I just remember them being like in the British Isles.
Didn't they build Stonehenge? Wasn't that like a Druid thing?
Yeah, that's what I think. I don't know exactly. I'm not a scholar.
It was like
You know what you are, though?
Yeah.
You are an expert on getting us back to the topic of your diet affected your mood.
Yes.
it's a cheat episode. We have no topic.
Yeah.
Free for all.
Yeah. So back to Jesus not exist. No, I'm just joking. So for me, like when it comes to vacations, when I travel, I usually don't stick to my diet as much, if at all. I've spent a lot of time traveling in Southeast Asia, Japan, China, Singapore, Thailand, and those are very high carb based diets. A lot of rice, a lot of noodles and stuff like that. So I just kind of go full bore, because when you go on vacation, the whole point of the vacation is to basically not worry about your shit back home. It's about to basically embrace the now. If you're gonna go. Nobody cares.
We have a
what you
second
to
guest
say.
host. Her name is Paige. She's a dog.
Paige, we get it.
Paige,
We
it's
get it.
okay. People are allowed to walk outside.
She's not necessarily my favorite of your dogs.
Steve does not like her.
I do not.
She's very alpha. She's super sweet. I love her.
Very aggressive.
She's not aggressive. She just is super insane.
Well, she is a hardcore conspiracy theorist. She, on a regular basis, loves to tell people that 9/11 was an inside job,
Well, she
and
wears
remind people that jet fuel
tinfoil
can't.
collar.
Well, yeah, and that jet fuel can't melt steel beams. I'm like, I get it, Paige. You
Yeah.
can be quiet. We've heard it.
You know what's so
We've
funny?
heard
Is
it.
I love dogs. I absolutely love dogs. I don't know. I think
You've always hated Paige.
It's true. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't think I hate. I think we're just at odds ends with each other.
Well,
Like, we
you're
both
not-
agree that we're not.
You're not a dog person, and you're not comfortable.
I'm a dog person.
But,
just don't
I mean,
like
you're
this.
like-
You're this.
You
dog
look
is
more like
insane.
You've never owned big dogs.
I've never owned a
And,
dog
like,
that was
a
as
big dog
hyper
is
and as aggressive.
It's a different
as
thing
that
because
dog.
it's like a big dog. You really have to be
Your
the
other-
alpha.
Well, your dog Jax is amazing. I'm cool with him. He's cool with me. Okay.
Steve,
Your
you look
other
like
dog-
more of a ferret person.
Well, yeah, absolutely. They are cute and they're kind of smelly. They're kind of smelly, I think.
What was that movie? Beastmaster.
I believe it was
Maybe I don't
Kindergarten
know.
Cop.
I think it was Ace Ventura,
He
Pet
had ferrets in
Detective.
Kindergarten Cop, didn't he?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, dude, I love that show.
Well,
By the way,
go on. It's another by the way moment brought to you by
the
Tim.
principal from Kindergarten Cop is totally in NCIS LA, and she's awesome.
I do not recall.
She was real short, kind of goofy with like a bob haircut.
Okay. Still
And
do
like
not
she was super
recall.
mean, and then when he punched that guy in the parking lot because he was like beating his wife, she pulled him into the office and he thought she was gonna get mad, and then she was like, that was a hell of a punch or something. She congratulated him on some level. Anyways, random movie references here.
Did they ever find out if it was a tumor?
It was not a tumor.
It was not a tumor.
Oh, it was not a
Wow.
tumor.
Arnold
and
coming through.
boys have penises and girls have vaginas.
Hey, man.
Whatever happened to that kid?
Whoa, bro! You just can't say that now on the internet.
On the net.
People are
Pretty
gonna.
sure I can.
People are gonna
because
hate
iTunes
you
rated our podcast as explicit, so I can say whatever the fuck I want. Apparently.
Wow.
I hear funny story. I got this iPad for work.
Name
My
drop
new job.
iPad.
iPad. Yeah, Apple. You're never gonna sponsor us, and
Yeah,
I don't
fuck
even want
you,
to
Apple.
well, that's a little. That's a little aggressive.
That's
Okay,
a little
sorry.
aggressive.
Sorry.
So whatever. So I got this iPad. So I'm like, oh, sweet. I'm going to go subscribe to our podcast. So I go and it says, podcast has explicit episodes. Administrator has this turned off. So I can't even listen to our podcast on iTunes on my work iPad. Funny story.
Apple, I don't mind you. Actually, my whole family's Apple, and we love your products. They are amazing and easy to use.
Do you guys just make sheep noises when you get together? Go.
Sheep noises?
So Steve, you want to tell us a little bit about what it's like to have Stockholm syndrome?
You guys are. Why do you guys like? It has to be
Apple?
either Apple or
No,
whatever the
it's
other
not like
version
that.
is.
Here's what I
PC?
don't. Here's my problem with Apple. Their marketing business plan is literally Stockholm syndrome. They take away features. They change things on phones, so you have to buy dongles and you have to buy Bluetooth headphones. They don't do anything to make anything more like easier or more friendly for you, and they do things that just make you make you spend more money. The other thing I thought it was funny that people were surprised by this, but that their updates make the older phones not work, so you have to buy the new phone. Like everyone was up in arms about that. I don't know why that surprised anybody because I just figured that was the reason a long time ago. So I think it's funny, but I also think they're geniuses because they basically treat all of their loyal fans like crap, and those people love them for it. Thus, Stockholm syndrome.
Wow. I don't know if the conspiracy theory. I thought we had
There's
put
no
I thought we
conspiracy
did the
theory
conspiracy
here.
theory
This is
episode
just
a long time ago.
This is just
Yet
observations.
I feel like I'm not a computer junkie. I'm not a computer nerd. I don't know very much about computers in general. But here's what I do know. I know that every single time I need my phone to turn on, it turns on. I actually like it. It's easy for me to use. And that's pretty much, I'm like a layperson, and I guess I am a sheep in that sense. But I don't know. If I'm going to pay money for a phone, I don't know. I've had like an Android before. It was all right. Then I switched over to Apple, and I don't think I'm ever going to switch back.
I've gone back and forth a bunch of times, and I really don't care. The only thing I
so
hate
long
about
as it makes the phone call.
Exactly. I mean, the only thing I hate about having an iPhone
Go on.
is if you try to switch to a non-iPhone, it is a huge pain in the ass.
What do you mean when you try to switch to a non-iPhone?
Like just with iTunes and the way that everything is set up, it's like any other phone, you literally just put everything on an SD card and you can pull it right off. Like iPhones are just, they add a couple levels of difficulty.
Wow.
Which is, I mean, like I said, from a marketing standpoint, from a business standpoint, it's genius. So I'm not faulting them for it. It is what it is.
Sure.
I heard they invented round corners.
For phones, I really don't care. I could go either way. And And for computers, I mean, I like PCs because that's what I've had my whole life. And I'm simple, and I'm not super computer tech savvy. I mean, I know enough, but I don't want to change.
Fair enough.
And the PCs are just way cheaper. I'm not willing to spend the money for that price tag for those Macs. Phones are different because, most of the time, back in the day, you just got a free phone with your plan every 2 years, and now it's like you pay.
Those days are gone.
You pay a monthly fee, and honestly, like I'm looking at like the iPhone X versus the Galaxy 9 versus the Pixel 2, and I still don't know which one I get.
You just dated us, Tim. If someone's listening to this podcast,
I'm sorry, I'm looking at.
I hear
they're
good
already
things
up
about
to
the
that.
Pixel too.
I'm looking at the iPhone 20 and the Galaxy
You gotta think ahead for these future
35
listeners.
and the
Shout out to our future sponsor, Apple 25. Apple.
What's it like in the year
Apple
3000?
iPhone 25. Oh man.
Well, yeah. For me, it's just being a graphic designer. It's mostly Apple. So I'm kind of like
that
the
is
black.
weird, dude.
I'm kind of like the black sheep of the family. For me, it was never. I think my first computer ever in our household was a Macintosh. That for all you young millennials out there, that was what Apple used to be called. It used to be called Macintosh, and it was a rainbow apple.
Well, it still is. I mean, not really.
No, it's
but
called.
that Mac word still stuck around, and that's where that comes
Yeah,
from. And
that's where it
Macintosh
comes
is actually a type of Apple.
It is. It is.
What is it? It's red, right?
No, Macintosh is like a trike. I think it's like reddish, yellowish, something or other.
So it's like not quite as horrible.
No,
as
sorry,
like
that's
Red Delicious.
that's a Fuji. That's a
Or
Fuji. I'm
Gala?
thinking of. I don't know.
Or a
Anyway,
Honey Sweet.
I don't know.
Honey Crisp.
Enough
Crisp,
about
there you go.
apples. So
I'm a Granny Smith guy. Myself.
Yeah, me
or
too.
A Pink Lady.
And I love me a pink lady. But
Apples.
for me, like, it was never a big deal. And I feel like there was a time, like in the touchscreen game when it first came out, they were the best, but everyone else has caught up and surpassed them. But not only that, specifically, is that I can build a PC or buy a PC for far less and have it do the same things as a MacBook would, and not have to deal with any of the crappy stuff that comes along it with, like, batteries, dongles, hard drive upgrades, things like that. I give Apple credit for two things, and that's being able to market themselves really well and making a sexy looking product, because it does look great. I'll admit that their products do, like, design wise, look amazing. But as far as what their functions were, it's just stupid. Them having their little bouts with Adobe and saying like, oh, we don't have, back in the old days where Apple, remember when Mac couldn't run Flash? Because so back when they couldn't do that, so their whole reason was because, we're going to make a better version of Flash than Adobe and do our own. They never did. You know why? Because they couldn't. And then they just kind of fell through. And then the straw that broke the camel's back was the fanboys, and how it here's like, I have an Apple, I can't get a virus. I'm like, you're a fucking idiot. Okay, cool, awesome, enjoy your piece of shit. That was the big portion of it, with people just trying to talk about.
Why was that?
So
was it more secure at one time?
No,
I know it's not anymore.
No, it has nothing to do with that. It's just like, okay, so the world runs on PC, if you haven't heard from Microsoft and other PC goers. The only place where the Mac is usually used is in creative elements of business and things like
They've done a
that.
really good job with that, though.
So exactly, they've tapped their market, and that's great.
I mean, like JB's a sound guy, you're a graphics guy, and I mean, both of your industries are 90% Apple stuff.
Yeah, but you go to a regular, like, law firm, or doesn't matter, business, telemarketing, it does any other place that uses computers. Over at my job, we use PCs. The reason being is because you can make what you need for a lot cheaper. And
cheaper. I think that's the number one.
Cheaper, but then also too, like, you can put better quality stuff in it. Like when you get your Mac, it's just like, here's my MacBook, whatever's in it is in it.
Well, and you can plug and play all sorts of different components too that you can't do with an Apple computer.
For example,
hard drives, graphic cards, all that.
Oh
stuff.
yeah, that's
if you have a desktop PC, you can literally.
You can pull stuff out and put it back in. It's great.
You can build
versus
a
that
desktop computer for like $600.
Yeah, if you want to do that to your Apple, you got to take it to the Apple store, and they're going to charge you like $9,000 to try and upgrade your hard drive, or remove the battery pack, or fix something that should have been fixed before, but because it's outside of the 1-year warranty, we're going to charge you an arm and a leg. But
they didn't. I mean, they invented the smartphone. They did it. They were way ahead of the pack. Essentially, dude, they invented the smartphone that made smartphones popular. You can't disagree with that statement.
Palm Pilot.
Palm Pilot was shit.
hey, they doesn't mean I don't.
No. But Apple invented a smartphone that everyone had in their hands. People had to have it. It was what put smartphones on the map. Nobody was copying the Palm Pilot once the iPhone came out, that's what started the whole Android thing. But I think there's something to be said for that open source Android platform because you have 20 different companies continually building onto it. So it's almost like your VHS Betamax kind of thing.
Yeah. Oh, but we lost track of what I was saying before. So the reason why people I don't know either.
If you're driving in Northern California, just going on the freeway listening to this as you're driving to work or from work, you've just listened to our technology segment. Thank you. Thank you. Project Reclamation.
Technology with Project Reclamation. But with the whole virus thing, it was just because they're using different operating systems. So whereas why would somebody make a virus that could attack the Mac OS when it's just a bunch of people taking photos and doing other bullshit versus where, I want money, I want other things, I want more information.
Oh, that makes sense.
You're gonna obviously go for PCs because there's more of them, and all of the things that you would want to attack and find out, get ledgers to, information of, everything's going to be kept on a PC, not a MacBook.
But Apple was smart though because they got their computers in every freaking grade school. So like if you're as old as we are or older or maybe a little bit younger, and maybe they still have them in schools, I have no idea. I'd have to ask my mother.
I remember we had them in high school.
But yeah, I remember like we went to computer lab and we had the Apple II GS or whatever it was. Yeah. And I remember playing Oregon Trail on that green screen. It was awesome.
Well, I also think
Brett just died of dysentery.
Yeah, exactly.
Cholera got him again.
Yeah. Oregon Trail, great game. Yeah.
Wow.
So, Steve, what's on your mind, brother?
Nothing anymore. Shoots. I'm just trying to wake up after
Did we just kill this podcast with Tech Talk?
With Tech Talk? Tech Talks?
Hey, to our 3 listeners, thank you very much.
Well, there's only one of them left.
I know.
Is there a more controversial or entertaining topic we can think about?
Not that I know of. Hey, man, I've never been to Coachella. But I recently saw my cousin, and my cousin is from Australia, and
You're
she's
too old for that shit, dude.
Am I? I don't know.
I'm just going to quote, what's his name from Lethal Weapon movies?
Go on.
Danny Glover's character. Is it Murtaugh? Man, I'm too old for this shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's funny how he's always like 2 weeks away from retirement, but never gets there.
Yeah.
No, Coachella's never really interested me that much. It's not really the type of music I'm into.
Not into it. I don't know why, but I'm also not into music though, so
wow.
that could definitely be a huge reason as to why.
Probably.
Here's the thing. I like live music, but I hate people. I love persons.
This is
but
not the place for you.
No. What I'm saying is I love persons. I love people, but when you put people in a giant, massive group, I'm not as entertained by it as I used to be.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Crowds.
I think it depends on the music.
I think I'm just getting old.
Probably. But also, I feel like for me, like I'm into hardcore metal and stuff like that. But when I go to a show like those, I don't mind being around like a large group of people because we share the same common like love and interest for this thing.
Yeah.
So there have been plenty of times where I'm in the pit and some random dude just comes along and we share a moment in the sense of like I put his arm around me, he puts his arm, we're just headbanging and just going like, yeah, awesome. And then we high five, split ways, and never talk again.
That was going to a deeper, darker place that I had thought initially. And then it kind of changed when he said, and then we headbang.
It was called a one-song stand.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
Man.
In the middle of the pit and just like, yeah. And then we just like, oh my God. And then we part ways, never talk again.
Part ways, never to talk again.
Yeah. Everyone finds like these metal shows and hardcore shows to be like very fine. I was like, no, we're very civil actually.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. I don't know.
Because you guys all read the rule book.
No, there's no rule book. It was an unwritten rule of the mosh pit. Someone falls down, you pick them back up. If someone loses a shoe, you hold it up till someone claims it.
I did not know that there was an unwritten rule like that.
Yeah.
Huh.
Same goes for beanies, jackets.
Angels in the mosh pit.
I think it's kind of like, don't be an asshole.
Pretty much, yeah.
Golden rule of
That is kind of the golden rule of just life. Don't be an asshole.
Don't be a dick.
Don't yell at grocery store clerks.
Don't
not give people high fives on escalators.
One of my favorite mottos is, life's too short to be a dick. So just try and be as kind and courteous to everyone as you can. And you'll be happier for it.
Yeah.
There it is.
By the way, Stephen Chang did a reclamation earlier today.
Oh, tell me about it.
I'm a little bit unsure exactly how this went down. You're going to have to tell me.
All right, listen. What's Reclamations all about?
Oh, so
Random
Reclamations,
acts of
in
kindness.
case, yes. It was JB's idea. We were trying to think of something having to do with random acts of kindness, random acts of awesome, something along those lines. And JB came up with Reclamations, R-A-K Lamations. And the RAK stands for Random Act of Kindness. So we have Reclamations. We try to do them daily. It doesn't always happen, but we try, you know? And so Steve came over to my house today to do this recording. And he was like, hey, man, and I will let you take it from there because...
Hey, man, like 1-800-Flowers or somebody like that probably could not get access to your fortress that you call an apartment complex or a condo complex. So they just left the flowers outside, man. And I said, whoa, look at this beautiful bouquet of flowers here on a Sunday. I know Mother's Day is already passed.
No,
it's in May.
Well, wait. It depends on when this episode airs. I have no idea.
Depending on when you're listening to this episode,
Well,
Mother's Day is either here upon us or it has
Mother's
not
Day is somewhere around.
This beautiful bouquet would have gone.
People could
for
listen to this episode in 20 years.
$39.99 on the streets.
September?
Yeah,
September.
Yes.
We want to give a shout
It
out
was
to September.
somewhere between the winter solstice and the summer solstice.
Absolutely. But this random bouquet was left out, and someone couldn't get access, and they probably had so many other flowers to deliver because it could either be Mother's Day when you're listening to this or not. And so they just left it right there. And I said, hey, man.
There is a 1 in 365 chance that it is Mother's Day.
It is Mother's Day when you're listening to this sweet episode.
366 if it's leap year.
Touche.
Touche. Yeah. So instead, I said, hey, man, these flowers are going to go like hotcakes around here, and that's not right because I know someone probably worked real hard to go ahead and pay the FTD florist to cut these up, and then for someone to deliver these. They probably paid the extra surcharge to deliver them on Sunday. And I said, all right. And so I joined along with your sister, and we just delivered them. We hand-delivered them to the person's residence.
Were they there?
No, they were not. And I got to be honest with you, there was also another big old stack of other boxes that were there, too.
So it was probably a birthday or something.
Or probably the person's dead on the inside, and they have
I
not.
was just going to say that.
Wow, you
we
guys
probably
are so
should have
dark.
called
Here I am
911.
thinking...
We thought about this. We were like,
I'm really, really intrigued by how this just went down.
yeah, we were like this.
I'm supposed to be the...
Hey, man, excuse me, and no one picked up, and automatically I thought, wow, this person's probably not home. It's Sunday afternoon. They're probably watching whatever sport takes place on Sunday. depending on
Or-
when
Then
you're
Steven
watching.
noticed a kind of rotting smell.
Yeah, then I smelled the smell.
Well, there's the other option, too. She could have been just extremely racist and didn't like Asian
That is
people.
true, actually.
Yeah.
That is true. She could have probably used her little peephole and been like,
I don't want to buy any
She lived through the war. She
whatever
knows
you're
what's going
selling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like, I don't want to hear about this thing or that thing or whatever you guys are trying to do. But yeah, nevertheless, there was a whole stack of other things there, and I was like, wow, Christmas come early for this person. And so we just added the flowers to it, and then we went about our days. Man, it doesn't take much more than that to make yourself feel better. It doesn't take much more than that to also do the right thing. Think about that. Project Reclamation.
We have said it before, and we'll say it again. And I know this is a cheat episode, so I shouldn't even be like motivational or whatever. But
But you're
yeah.
always motivational. Now that you're no longer like down in the dumps, you're really motivational. Everything you kind of do is really kind of motivational now.
I have a new lease on life, Steve,
Bam, there you go.
and I bought clothes
Wow.
at a normal store
Wow.
for the first time.
What size
in like
are you
high
wearing
five
now,
years.
bro?
I am wearing a XX shirt,
Double
and
X.
I have no idea what these shorts are.
What was the largest size of shirt that you ever bought?
For the last?
You had to go to Big and Tall.
Yeah, I had to go to Big and Tall, and it's there's a store called DXL.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of them. They have cool stuff, so I was happy
And it's
that
a
there
great
was
store.
that
It's
option.
a
It
great
is.
store for the
they
men and
charge
women.
you so much money, but whatever.
But is it because they need more fabric?
No, I don't
okay.
think so. But I mean, you have good options, and like I remember, like that's not always the case when you're larger than normal. So for the last, I don't know how many years I can remember, for some reason, like I always wore bigger jeans and shorts, but my jeans were like a 54. My shorts were somewhere around a 50, I think, and my shirt was a 5XLT.
Tall.
Gotta have the tall, you know, because you got the little belly thing and you don't want to show. Right now, I'm wearing a double X shirt and probably some double X shorts. I bought some slacks.
But just a double X right off the
Double
hanger.
X right off the rack.
Wow.
I bought some slacks and they were a 46 waist, and that was like 2 weeks ago, and they're already too big. So
Hey, man.
I'm probably like a 44 now.
I'm proud of
So I
you.
think you can find 44s some places, but I think just about every store has up to 42. So
Yes.
I am almost there. I have lost. Oh wait, I don't want to talk about myself.
Talk about yourself. You're already going. You've already done what's known as the hook, baby.
Fine, I've hooked you. So guys, here's our fireside chat about weight loss. I was started in October, and I have to date lost 154 pounds. Thank you guys.
That's a lot of commitment. That's a lot of dedication, man.
And I was surgically enhanced. Brett didn't go to those lengths, and he's lost a lot of weight too. And I gotta say, it is certainly not motivational, but it makes life easier if the person that you spend time with or live with is trying to be healthy at the same time you are, because I know that's always
Yeah, it can be difficult.
My God, you guys are eating donuts and drinking whiskey again. Fuck.
Damn it.
Bro, I'm about to blow your mind right now because I just looked at my iPhone. That's right, iPhone, brought to you by Apple. And I'm going to show you a photo, which I just...
See, I love it. They've never done anything for you, Steve. And you're just so happy that you own their product. See, I have a stupid Galaxy, but I don't care. Like, I'm not going to give them a shot.
Anyways, bro, okay, the purpose of why I'm trying to show you this sweet photo brought to you by iPhotos and all that other stuff. Look at this, man. I'm going to show you a picture of almost a year ago. Actually, this is not even a year ago. August 29th, 2017. You and I took a trip to Seattle, Washington. I'm about to blow your mind, bro. Look at that. That was you, baby.
And at this point...
They say black is slimming. It doesn't even matter what color you were wearing. You were just a big deal.
So I'm wearing this Goonies shirt, right? Cool shirt. It says Goonies. It's got like a pirate ship
It
wheel.
could say that. The letters are stretched
It's
out so
one-eyed
much.
Willie's face. Come on.
Whatever, dude. And then it says what? Never say die. I wore this shirt like a week ago, and it was like a dress.
Well, I think it's time to make it in one of those shredded, cool-looking gym shirts when you get all hossed out of the gym.
I haven't gotten rid of. I've gotten rid of a
show you
few
more.
things, but I've kept a lot
Oh,
of it.
that would be
because-
cool. I was like, when you start going to the gym, you just wear all your old clothes and like, why you wear such big stuff? It's like,
Like,
so I remember how I used to
I can't wear the shorts.
Bro,
though.
I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah, you
People
can.
around Seattle must
You
have
let,
thought I
you,
was
let
famous.
you let your dick fly free. All right.
That's-
I mean, I'm not
Wow.
opposed to
Well,
that, but I
well,
feel
on
like
that
people
one.
would probably be offended.
People around Seattle must have thought I was famous because you look like one serious-ass bodyguard. Like, even your general demeanor. Like, every photo I took of you, man, look at this. Every photo I took of you, you're like mad dogging or mean mugging the camera, man.
Yeah, that's what happens when you hate yourself, dude.
Look at that. Dude, who is that famous
That's called
Asian guy?
self-loathing.
Yeah.
But lucky for me, self-loathing comes off as tough in a lot of situations. So
Ah,
people
yes.
always thought I was.
Bro, we were at the original Starbucks. You're wearing your Punisher shirt, and even then, you looked like you were like you still had a chip on your shoulder, man.
I'm smiling.
That's a smile.
I think so.
That wasn't a chip. That was fat on his shoulder.
That was.
Well, see, Steve, it's harder to see
chocolate
the.
chips.
It's harder to
Those
see the
chocolate chips on
smile.
the
It's,
shoulder.
it's harder to see the smile through all the chub. You know, the funniest thing I thought is like when you look at my face, like head on.
I can see your ears now. which
You
is
can
like-
see my ears, dude. That's a
That's
funny
crazy,
thing. Like you
man.
couldn't see my ears before. Like my
can't even see your
fat,
ears in these
my
photos, bro.
cheek fat like covered up my ears.
Yeah, it was kind of
And we're not
funny
making fun
actually.
of you. I'm not making fun of you. I'm just telling you. Sometimes you need somebody to point out the improvements and also the progression, or else you know what? You gotta kind of
You have to celebrate your little victories to keep you motivated.
I hear you.
And you have to be able to laugh at yourself as well. Don't forget
I
that.
think that's all we do, man.
That
We
is
just
all we
laugh
do.
at
Exactly.
ourselves.
But I feel like some people need to hear it sometimes.
Some people do need to hear it,
Yeah.
and I'm gonna be very honest with you. I'm proud of you, whether you like to hear it or not. I am very, very proud. of
I
you
love
for all
you
the
guys
progress.
and girls.
I love you too, man.
Because even if I don't know you, but hey, if I don't know you, like send us an email. We'd love to talk to you.
We'd love
Yeah.
to know you.
But just having this platform, like, I mean, hopefully we're helping all of you. But at the same time, like, I mean, just
You're-
talking helps us.
Yeah.
But also, like, there's an accountability thing. Like, I can't go off the rails because now I have to talk to you guys once a week at least, and like I have to be positive, and I have to be in a good mood, and I have to be motivational. And now that I've broadcasted the crap out of my weight loss, like I can't screw that up.
Look, it's okay if you do screw it up, quote unquote. But the whole part is that you know what you got to feel good about yourself. It's okay that people fall off the wagon every single time.
You're going to.
whatever they're doing.
You're going to.
That's
Yeah.
okay.
And I mean, we had a listener who he's post college, kind of trying to figure out what he wants to do. He needed a little bit of motivation. He's a friend of the family, so you know, my dad talked to his dad. They turned him on the podcast. Super cool. I won't say his name unless we talk later.
do
He
it.
wants me. I'm not going to. But he listened to a couple episodes, and you know, my dad and his dad were hoping, you know, it would give him some, you know, some fire or something.
Sure.
And he actually liked them, and then he's like, you know, you guys mention it, but like it'd be cool to do a show about failure. And I mean, I think we hit on it often, but I mean, failure is the building blocks that all success is built on.
A 19-part series from Project Reclamation.
Nobody ever, and I won't get too preachy and motivational on this episode, but I
Too
mean,
late.
you know, nobody ever. You and I were just talking about this, Steve. You know, that whole Michael Jordan thing. You know,
Yep.
he has that poster. I'm sure there's a meme. Just go look up Michael Jordan failure. You'll see it. And I don't know all the details, but it's like I've missed this many game-winning shots, and I've lost this many games, and I've screwed up this many like all of his failures. And then at the end, it says that's why I'm successful, or that's why I win, or something like that. And I mean, you know, I've talked about like Colonel Sanders. Apparently, you know, he tried to sell his chicken recipe, like he got turned down like 1,004 times or 104. I don't remember how much it was, but a ton of times where he could have given up at any point in that, you know. And I mean, you look at any successful people. I mean, The Rock, obviously, love The Rock on the show. I mean, you know, his dream, he spent his entire life up until like, you know, his 20s to go to the NFL. And then that dream was completely shattered. And what did he end up doing? Becoming the highest paid actor in Hollywood. Pretty sweet. So yeah, I mean, I think every success story is built on failures. Failure is extremely important, but it's what you do with that failure and how you handle it.
Yeah.
It's true.
You learn more when you fail than when you succeed.
Yes.
And I feel like people don't take that into account when they do it. And people need to realize that there's a 100% chance that you're going to fail at something at some point in your life. Like, everyone fails at something in their life. And it's what you do with that failure.
Otherwise, you're not trying.
It's true, yeah. But it's what you do with that failure that ultimately leads you to success and what you learn from that. So,
Well, I mean, look at NFL.
Yeah.
There's been one team that had a perfect record in the entire history of the NFL.
yeah.
Shout out to the 1974 Dolphins. Wow. Hopefully I got that right. 'Cause
No,
I
you
don't
didn't.
know. I stopped paying attention to football ever since the Chargers abandoned me.
Man,
I'm a free agent, by the way. If any of you guys have recommendations of which team I should pick up as my new team,
I would
I'm
just
open
go
to
CFL at
suggestions.
this point, man. I would just go to the Canadian Football League.
I'll be honest, dude.
The Saskatchewan Roughriders, the
That's kinda
Montreal
cool.
or the something Red Black, the Ottawa Red Blacks, the Montreal Alouettes.
I don't even know what you just said.
There's only like 6 teams or something like that.
And
Like,
they
that's
play
why.
each other like 4. It's like back when we were in like
Are hockey sticks involved too?
I don't know. I mean, the season has to be shorter than the Coupe de Grey. Yeah,
Well, I just remember like when we were, I don't know about football, but like when you were like a kid and you played like kids basketball or soccer or whatever, I remember there wasn't so many teams, so you played every team like 3 times or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, at least around our parts, our neck of the woods.
Our neck of the woods, the Boys and Girls Club.
Boys and Girls Club of Goleta.
Yeah.
The Hamilton Tiger Cats.
Goleta. What?
I'm just naming off names. Obviously, my CFL team would have to be the BC Lions, the Calgary Stampeders, the Edmonton Eskimos, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Man, wow. I would just go CFL teams right now at this point. I think the NFL is really a tough go.
Yeah. No, I'll find it again.
Yeah, you
but it's
will.
like, you know, I'm not going to force passion.
You can't.
And I had passion at the end football, and then my passion left. So I'm just going to give it a break until I find passion in football again.
Oh, all right, I'm down. Well, here's what it is. I'm going to be honest with you. You're passionate right now about your physical health. I love that. I dig that. That should be your number one passion anyways, is yourself, like, right? Getting yourself back on the healthy track.
Well, and that was what I was trying to do, and I had no intention of affecting my mental health, but it has.
That's called a side effect. That's called a positive side effect right there.
Yeah, sure. Well, we should probably wrap this up.
Oh, man. All right, is that time?
It is that time.
It's about that time.
Hey, man, shout out to our
about that time.
special guest, Brett.
Brett, thank you.
Hey! Oh, thank you guys. Thank you.
I'd like to give a big Project Reclamation thank you to Brett. Oh, by the way,
Yep.
this should be noted on the record. The concept of a cheat day episode was Brett's idea.
Wow, the originator of the cheat episode joins us
I
for a
helped.
cheat episode.
I
Brett
helped.
He
And
contributed
I helped.
a logo
Shake it,
and
Mike.
the concept of the cheat episode, which is funny because I was talking to Steve this morning.
Go on.
I was like, Steve, I don't know about these cheat episodes. Like, they're fun, they're funny, but like they don't add any value to people's lives.
Oh, no.
And Steve had heard from one of our
listener.
listeners that he loved it, and that the timing, kind of every 4th episode, was actually kind of perfectly placed to kind of break up the kind
monotony.
of sort of monotony,
Yeah.
seriousness of our sort of motivating messages. Kind of like, you know, get you a little bit motivated and then make you laugh, and then motivated and then laugh. And it's just,
Yeah.
you know, so reach out to us and let us know what your thoughts are on that subject. Please send us listener questions, because obviously we need more, and send us topic ideas, whatever you guys would like to hear. I mean, we have our own ideas, but at this point, we really want to go the direction that is going to be where you guys want us to go. Because I mean, obviously you know the vein by now. You know what we're doing. You know the world we're living in. But you know, anything in that sort of world. And we've mentioned this before and gotten some feedback, but I'd like more. Like, you know, do you guys want us to talk about specific diets? You know, travel tips for diets, exercise, travel tips for exercise, that kind of stuff. I do travel a ton, so I could probably weigh in on that a little bit. Brett can too. He takes a lot of vacations. I take a lot of boring work trips, but it's all good. So thank you guys and gals. It's been fun. Always. We love talking to you. Hopefully we can help you out because you help us out. Until next time, enjoy, be good, and go do your reclamations.
Reclamation.
Thanks for having me, guys.
So what I believe you were trying to say is thank you.